hands, so go tell you, man. Combinations rotate like a ceiling fan, get killed. Improvisational skill. In other words, man, I don't need a plan. Left hook like Gotti, footwork like Ali. Deja like French 10 blows to the body. Throwing them things, I'm about my cheddar, undefeated champ. I'm like Floyd Mayweather, however you want it, I got it for you. Jab a fella like De La Hoya, I'm Sugar Ray. You wanna play? I'ma lose my religion like Cassius Clay. Get rough, I don't bluff if you don't listen. My right might make your teeth come up missing. Knocked off balance with hazy vision. Caught that boy with a sunny listing. I swear your lip and then break his spine. Like Iron Mike up in his prime. So Lewis made me do this. I'm ruthless to the end of time. Wreaking havoc is on my mind. My fist in motion is a crime. The older I get, the better my hands become in time like wine. These hands is so sublime, accurately placed up on your mind. It's like every punch I throw, I know I reach and I will find. While I hustle on my grind, you better not try to block my shine. I will beat you till you blind. Press rewind, cause it go down behind the hands. Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal, man? You know what I'm saying? We back again for the one more time. How we always on the grind of Behind the Hands TV. And today I want to switch it up. You know, normally I do a show with some fighter that I rock with or know pretty well. But in this instance, I'm gonna do it a little differently. It's normally a male fighter that I rock with. Today is gonna be the first female fighter that I've ever had on a live here on my channel. Somebody I greatly respect and have a lot of admiration for. You know, I appreciate her for even pulling up just to chop it up with your boy. So without any further ado, you know, this is who I'm rocking with today, Jiffy Morales.
Hey, brother, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same. Hey, sister, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same.
My flow C4 rig, burn a 20 block radius. Got people like I think he is office rocker, or maybe just I turn into an asshole that don't listen, it can't be fixed. Ever since you fuckers try to change me, that's what made me this. I'm sick of it, so here's the skip motherfucking predicaments. Got me trying to figure out where a nigga is gon' piss and shit with a hustle that's legitimate, depositing large increments of bullshit from every direction, but I'm not listening. Faded and have focus on a future that's not promised. I'm cutting off partners who hating and not honest. You got one mind, one life, two roads to take it. The only question is what you willing to do to make it. No more stressing out of my mind, I'ma lose it with this music. Don't confuse it with the irrelevant music out of Houston. I'm just trying to live my life through these beats and what I speak. You can rearrange the game, but ain't no rearranging me, so I tell them,
hey brother, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same.
Jiffy, Big Jiff Morales, man. What's up, Jiffy?
Behind the hands, hope.
Shout out to my boy Just Do for pulling up, man. You know what I'm saying? He say, let's go, my bro. Big shout out to Jiffy. So, man, I'm in there with somebody who is more historical than what they even think they are. She don't think that she means something in the history books, but you know, Jiffy is a major part of the reason that there's amateur boxing in colleges in the state of Texas for sure. And you know, entrepreneur, a Zen master, a yoga fitness guru. Man, appreciate you pulling up, man, for real.
Thank you. And out of all the footage, you chose to not put Bobby in there. That's sad.
I did.
Don't be mad.
Because it's about you, you know what I'm saying? You know, we shout out to Bobby. But anyway, man, Jeff, I know you from Florida. Where in Florida are you from?
I'm from Tampa.
You're from Tampa, Florida, and somehow through, you know, circumstance, you migrated your way to Texas. You chose to attend Texas Southern University?
I did, yeah.
So you go to a historically black college and somehow create the means of a boxing team. How did that go, Jiff?
Yeah, so let me give you some backstory. I'm from Florida, but I was born in South Carolina, but I didn't know that. Okay. Um, that's a whole nother story.
I know.
So from Florida, I went to California and I went to school. I went to college in California. I fell in love. I followed the man to Texas. This is what we said. We said, because I was going to go to Stanford in California, and I only applied to two schools. I applied to Stanford, and I applied to Texas Southern because that's where he was going on a football scholarship. And we said, and we just knew like we were not going to be together. We knew that I was going to Stanford, all of that. And we said, if I don't go to Stanford, I'll go to Texas Southern with you. Well, excuse me. It just so happened that I didn't get into Stanford based on like the financial criteria. Stanford is expensive. It's elite. I can afford that coming out of, the system that I came out of. So I ended up not going to Stanford and I came to Texas and I went to Texas Southern University. Um, while I was at the school, I just kind of felt out of place only because of how I was being treated. And
They was treating you bad at TSU.
I mean, to some extent, like I won't say everybody because my spirit doesn't allow that. It doesn't allow people to treat me bad, but passively people will walk by me, like some men, they'll walk by me and they'll be like, achoo, I'm allergic to white girls and stuff like that. Like just passive, like some minor stuff. But so I said, well, the only thing that I know, because I started boxing when I was in California, and the only thing that I know is boxing. And
Mm-hmm.
I started to do like a bunch of research, and there was like a few gyms around the Third Ward gym, the PABA. That was like the number one
Yeah.
that I saw. And eventually we ended up going there, but I wanted to do something for college boxing. And then I I realized there were no colleges in Texas that allowed amateur boxing because it used to be a part of the NCAA back like years ago, but they banned it because kids were dying.
Mm-hmm.
So then they had this organization called the National Collegiate Boxing Association. There were no schools in Texas, and I wanted to be a part of it. And so I started like a little recreational boxing team at TSU. We did like tryouts. We had officers, like the treasurers and the secretaries and all of that. And it was a big deal. And then like we went on to like regionals and nationals, and then I was the first woman, the first set of women ever to fight on a regional level because they didn't allow women to fight. It was like a bunch of old white military men. And they were like, nope, women aren't supposed to be doing that. And
Wow.
then I went on to fight the nationals too. So in the midst of all of that, the NCBA, they didn't allow women, and I don't know if they do now or not, to compete on a regional and national level. So a bunch of us got together and we created the USIBA, which is the United States International Boxing Association. And that's where the women were allowed to fight on a national level. And I was one of the first set of women to be able to do that. So yes, historical in a way.
Man, no, you definitely are. So, I mean, I'm assuming did you come to that? Did you get to TSU and just start boxing, or had you already had boxing on you, or were you already training, or what?
Okay, you gotta listen, because I said I started boxing in California, okay?
Yeah, what I'm saying is you didn't take it seriously there, did you?
So when I was in California, I actually started boxing because I was chunky. I was
Yeah.
living with this family, right? And this
Okay.
family, the man, I call him Pops. In California, it's expensive. So I was renting out a room in a house.
Uh-huh.
And the daddy, Pops, he introduced me to boxing for some reason. I think he was just like, this is the quickest way to lose weight. So I went to this recreational center in Santa Clarita, and I did it for fun. I was just trying to lose weight. The coaches, they had a recreational part, and then they had a competition part,
Okay.
and they were basically like vetting everybody who was in the recreational part. And they
Hmm.
saw something in me that I didn't even know or think or want to be a part of. So after like 2 days, they invited me to be a part of the competitive team, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't say a couple of days, maybe a week later, they asked me to spar, which I didn't know how I felt about it, but I ain't no punk. So so I
I
started
see.
sparring, and the first time I sparred, I had bloodied the girl's nose. And it was like a shark in water. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm strong."
I'm strong.
So that was, I forgot what year that was, but it's probably like 2007. I left in 2009. So yeah, boxing was just already a part of my life, and that's something that I wanted to do. I even had like the coaches that I knew in California trying to find me some gyms in Texas, but they didn't know anyone. So I said, well, I'm gonna just do it on my own.
Did you when you got to Texas, how long was it until you met, or how did you meet Bobby Benton?
So I when did I meet Bobby? So my kid's dad, he knows Bobby. Like I guess he boxed with him a while ago,
Mhm.
and I knew about Main Street, of course. I remember Paisley is the one that y'all know Paisley. Shout out to
Paisley Davis.
Paisley. Hmm. So we did a little bit of amateur together, and I actually had took a break from boxing because I ended up having my two kids. I was working on my business, and I just I when I focus on something fully, and I felt like I was at a point where I have everything that I want, but something in me is missing. So I reached out to Paisley because I noticed she was at Main Street, and I said, "Hey, how is it over there?" Because I don't want to turn pro, but what I want to do is just train while my kids are at school, just so I can get like a sense of self back. And she was just telling me how it was, and then I ended up going up there. My kid's dad went with me, and he introduced me to Bobby, and he said some crazy stuff talking about yeah, she want to be a part of y'all team. And I just remember like Regis and Hollywood, everybody just started laughing because it was kind of like embarrassing how he said it.
So Regis
Um,
Program was there when you got there?
yeah, yeah. And he just kind of threw me under the bus. But everybody just kind of already knew who I was, which I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But that was in like 2020.
Yeah. So
And I remember when I went up there, I said, I told Aaron,
Aaron
um,
Navarro.
yep. I said, Aaron, you gonna train me? He just looked at me and laughed.
Not only did they train you, you somehow walked them into doing some stuff I've never seen these guys do or be part of. Like, I mean, case in point, you know, that is wild. Jiff, you are definitely known for your ring attire and ring outfits. This one right here seems to be, you know,
Do you know what this is?
this is what, the Bride of Chucky or something?
No, don't do me like that. That's that's Beetlejuice. That's
Beetlejuice.
Lydia.
Okay, yeah,
Lydia Beats, and then
Lydia.
Beetlejuice. That's his tuxedos.
So you
So
got
all of
you
them
got
are Beetlejuice.
so you got Bobby Benton and Aaron Navarro wearing t-shirt tuxedos. You know, I mean that's different off the muscle. That's different. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the KO God pulled up.
Hey,
You
what's
know,
up?
KO God, what's up? He said, "What's up, Jeff?" But you had Aaron Navarro and Bobby with the suit shirts or whatever, and that itself is wild. Uh, I even seen you do the the what's her name? Woody's girlfriend. What's her name?
Jesse. That's not Woody's girlfriend.
That
Come
is
on, Marcus.
that
That's
is
not
Woody's
his
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Who is Woody's girlfriend? Woody's girlfriend is Bo Peep.
All right, yeah,
Jesse liked Buzz Lightyear.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Marcus,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got kids. Don't do that.
So you got legendary coach Bobby Benton wearing a cowboy t-shirt outfit. Like,
Not only did he do it, they loved it. They love the thing. They don't care. He said, "I'd wear anything." It was actually Aaron's idea because we were trying to figure out like the type of person that I am,
yeah.
and I'm different, and
Hmm.
I kind of walk to the beat of my own drum, and so I'm not very like sexual or provocative, and I don't like to be sexually objectified, and I
Okay.
just kind of like don't dress that way. But I've always been very childish, and I think that comes from not having a childhood and wanting to like relive that as an adult.
Let me ask you this. Is there some type of double standard with appearances of female fighters versus male fighters?
I think that it's expected of women to be sexy because a lot of people are thinking, well, what else can they bring to the table? At least like they're good to look at, but can they actually fight?
Yeah.
Um, for the men, I don't think anybody's saying like, oh, he got to be chiseled and sexy. And so I think for us, it's just like, she's cute, so I'll watch. But if she's not cute, then that's just some bitches fighting.
Shout out to my boy Just Do, man. He say a dope bill, smash the like button. Family. Hey, appreciate you a lot, Just Do. We appreciate you up here. Thank you, brother.
Good, good, good. That's good thinking. Good. You was quick. You was good on your feet that time, man. Well, listen, go back out there and leave that side door open. Make sure in case I gotta do something real quick.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you don't look at it necessarily as unexpected evil. You're saying that's expected for women have to kind of sell themselves like that.
Well, yeah, I think as a boxer, it's everybody's job to sell themselves, and
Hmm.
a boxer is a business as themselves, like the person themselves is a business. So whatever way you choose to sell yourself is your choice, but mostly women go that route. They go the OnlyFans, the lingerie route because sex sells and women are known for being sexual objects.
Does that alter, or do you think there's a lack thereof of media coverage of female fighters?
Well, yeah, because I feel like because women, a lot of people still say to this day that women shouldn't fight, and that it's not interesting, or when they do see us fight, it's like it's fast, it's quick, like it's crazy. It's actually more entertaining than men, to be honest. but
And so sometimes, a lot of times.
but yeah, but they don't really cover it a lot, maybe because there's still that idea that women shouldn't fight.
Yeah, that's real. That's coming from a woman. So, in the aspect of thinking that they shouldn't fight, is that why you think there may be a lack of an amateur system for women?
Well, I would say the amateur system is a little bit more fair than the pros.
Hmm.
So no one can make women compete.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's going to be more men than women because it's innate. It's almost like innate for men to be competitive and to fight. It's not really installed in women to want to do that type of thing.
For sure.
So the amateur system is a little fair because it's like everybody come, everybody is able to fight, but where are these girls coming from? There's not a lot to pull from and pick and choose. Now, I think in the amateurs and in the pros, the weight classes are very limited because you just kind of don't know with women.
The
They're
weight
either really
disparities
small
with
or really
women.
big.
Yeah, the weight disparities.
Hmm.
Is that the biggest difference, or?
The biggest difference in men and women boxing?
Well, I would assume it's a smaller talent pool because of the weight gaps.
I wouldn't even say that. I think what I think boxing, amateur boxing, does a good job of adjusting to the women who come in. So let's say you have 100 girls and they're all like different weights. I think they have certain, now I don't remember the weight classes for amateurs, but they have certain weight classes for certain girls. But at least like you can pick and choose which one you want to go to. But there are a lot less weight classes for women than there is for men.
Yeah. Does that create what do you think is the cause for the pay disparity? It's a difference in pay, clearly.
I think it all goes down to whoever controls boxing. Somebody at the top feels like, and it's probably like I mentioned in college boxing, it was a bunch of older white men from the military who didn't feel like women should be fighting. So it has to be somebody dangling at the top saying that these women shouldn't be fighting, and let's encourage them not to fight by not paying them what the men get paid. They don't know the difference anyways, or they'll just accept the pay that's there. So I mean, what
Yeah.
choice do they have if they
I mean,
really love it?
do you think female fighting has female boxing has judging biases to it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I
Well,
think so.
elaborate on it. Tell me.
Well, for one, the rounds are 2 minutes, which is different than the 3 minutes. 3 minutes, you can actually have the opportunity to box. You're able to pick your shots. You're able to just kind of show like your ring generalship and your skill set. In 2 minutes, it's literally like fight for your motherfucking life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the judges, they just kind of pick and choose their favorites. Like, which one was my favorite? How was her hair today? What outfit did she have on? Oh, I really liked her shoes because it went so fast that I can't tell who landed more punches.
You think it gets that ignorant?
I think so, especially when it's a close fight. Now, when it's a shutout, okay, I mean, I get that. But when it's like it's a close fight, you there's other things to look at too. Who's the A side? Who's supposed to win? Who are they building up? Who's younger? Who's prettier? Who's the draw to the sport? Who brought more fans in the stadium? It's that deep on all levels, not just for women.
Mhm. So if people looking at it and objectifying women even during the fight in a bias like that, you saying in so many words that they're, and I hate to put it this way, but I have to do it. You know, we talking the truth. They're predators in boxing.
Yes. I'm like, let me turn my mic. Hold on. Yes, boxing for those in the back. Boxing, you can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Good. Boxing is a predatory sport, period. Just think about, I'm sorry, men, but just think about like boxing is a male dominated sport. Men are already predatorial because you're taught to go after what you want. Uh, Boxing itself is predatorial and on all levels. There's no discrimination. There's no real victims. And I'll tell you because you have promoters, you have managers, you have matchmakers, you have coaches. Tell me if I'm missing anybody. You have fighters. They're all being preyed on. Fighters are being preyed on emotionally because everybody wants to be a world champion. Everybody has something that they're fighting for. Not only do they want to be champions, they also want money. There's not a lot of money in boxing. There's a lot of money outside of boxing, but inside of boxing, there's not a lot of money to go around. Uh, Matchmakers are being kind of told what to do. They're being preyed on. Hey, you find me a match. You find me somebody who my guy can't beat. I'll pay you this much. It's probably like $500 a finder's fee or something. Oh, is my laptop about to die? Everybody's being preyed on. It's a predatory sport. Period.
Have you do you have any personal experience being preyed on?
Yes. Can you play a commercial or something real quick? I need to plug in my laptop.
So
You need to
so
I'll be right back.
Jiffy is the owner of a really dope spot, you know, and I feel like let me just introduce it to y'all.
This is Smash Therapy in North Spring, Texas. It's a place to find inner peace. People said it wouldn't work.
A place where you smash things? That's stupid.
But Jennifer is a headstrong business owner.
So give me a call. I'll get you smashing in no time.
So that's her that's her commercial, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who pulled up in the building. Today we talking with Jiffy Morales, really dope fighter turned entrepreneur, mother, very aware person in the sport of boxing who's lived quite a journey on her journey in boxing. So far, Jiffy's given us quite a few ideas about different aspects of how women boxing is affected. But anyway, and she's back. But yeah.
I had to give up my microphone to charge in my laptop. So can you hear me still?
Yeah.
It was so pretty and pink. I thank you for playing that commercial. We gonna talk more about that?
Yeah, for sure. We'll go back to it.
Okay.
But you know, you were telling me that there are predators in boxing and you've been preyed upon in the sport.
Yes, it's not just limited to me. Everybody's being preyed on. Nobody actually, I won't say nobody. There's a lot of people who are not aware of how boxing works. And a lot of people just go in with the idea. Me, for one, I went in thinking that first of all, I didn't even want to turn pro. I just went in and I trained, and I was like, after a whole year is when I actually turned pro. I didn't understand, and it didn't make sense to me at the time, that my first fight, I had to come out of pocket and pay for everything. So
Talk to me.
I had to pay for, okay, first of all, I was supposed to fight like locally, and those fights, they fell out. And from my understanding, I don't know if it's true, but from my understanding, they will put me on these cards. And this is just like speculation that I would be put on these cards and I will be used as like promoting these fights because everybody loves Jiffy. Everybody want to come see Jiffy fight. And then those fights never happen. I never understood that, okay, there's an A side and there's a B side. And the A side is the person that you're trying to lift up and build. And typically what they do for the first 10 fights, and if y'all didn't know this, I'm sorry, but for the first 10 fights, usually they pat the record. And what pat the record means is the first 10 fights that you get, 10 or so, could be less than that, you want an undefeated record because it increases your stock, it increases your value, you're a draw to the sport, or something like that. So the first fight that I had, I was told that I have to pay out of pocket. So if you don't have a manager or a promoter, somebody who's footing the bill, somebody who is willing to invest in you, eventually they want a return on their investment. Then that money comes out of your pocket or by ticket sales. If you're not a draw to the sport, meaning you can't put asses in seats, then that money's coming out of your pocket. So I'm like, make it make sense. So I'm trying to, like, it doesn't make sense for me to fight and me to pay to fight. So usually what A-side fighters do, whether they know it or they don't know it, if they have a manager, they probably don't know. If they have a promoter, they probably don't know. If you're independent like I was, then I knew that, okay, I have to pay the money that comes out of the pocket is I have to pay my opponent's purse. I have to pay my opponent's meals like per diem, their travel and their room and board for themselves and their coach. And so if you're paying for all of that, which whether it's me, a manager or promoter that's paying for that, they choose opponents that are tough, maybe a little bit durable, but somebody that I can absolutely beat because I paid for it. Am I answering the questions?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So,
you really shedding light on a lot of people's understanding of not knowing how it go when you starting off a boxing career. You know, a lot of people aren't familiar with A side, B side at this level. They typically know that my fighter the best. He the A side. Your fighter got to listen to my fighter, and they don't know what comes with that. So you really shedding some light on people who are miseducated on the idea of what it is. I mean, shout out to Ashley to say, hell no, paying for everything that opponent eats is crazy. But that is the game, though. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
real game. If you don't know this, you've been misled for as long as you've been watching boxing, because
And that's
this
why,
is the way it goes.
yeah, that's why it's predatorial. Because somewhere along the line it became standard, because a lot of people money is not being funneled into boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get to a higher level, when you see on the higher level, like, on TV, there's the A side is the popular, and it's different than when you started from the bottom. I want to say for women and men, like let's say your first fight. So my first fight, I was on the A side. I came out of pocket like $2,500, and by my second fight, I had got signed to a manager. The second fight, I think I got paid like $800. So that at that level, like at the lower level, boxers are not getting paid that much, especially like on the local level. It's not a lot. It's between like $800 to $1,000, and it also depends on like your background of, if you've come from anything as far as like amateur. Most people who are like big amateurs, they don't really have to worry about like coming out of pocket, being independent. A lot of the
You
times
talking about Olympic hopefuls, guys with high profile amateur careers, and those type of people.
Yeah. So let me backtrack a little bit. So you got the A side who is basically being built up, and then the B side who are opponents. If you see, like, this is what you see in boxing. You see the same people fighting. And if you're like, well, dang, he just fought him last week and now he's fighting him this week, that man that you saw fight a week or two ago, it's not that close. But a month ago, he's an opponent. And they use him as a stepping stone. He's the person that, like, oh, we could put him on TV. He builds up. They be arguing and
I call those guys resumebuilders.com.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because some people are like, oh, they're bums. I wouldn't necessarily call them bums, right? They're businessmen. Mm-hmm. They understand where they are in the sport, and a lot of the times, they're probably good fighters. They probably have known boxing all of their life. They probably don't have any other skill set outside of boxing, because boxing literally keeps you in a box. It makes you feel like we need you and you need us, and you can come up on you can come up on some money. And if you do it right, then you can build your money or whatever. So they're resume builders, and they understand the game. They understand that I'm not going to be a world champion. But they will call me for fights, and I can make some quick money. Mm-hmm. And that's how boxing is predatorial, because they would say things like, oh, well, you'll have a manager or promoter call you, and they'll say like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you fight this guy? I'll give you $5,000. That guy, there may already be a budget where it's like $7,000, but somebody's shaving some money off the top somewhere. Yeah. That guy could say like, okay, I'll do it. It's on a 3-day notice, but you got to give me $7,000, and they'll magically come up with the money because the budget is there, and it's a 3-day notice, and we know for sure that this man is not going to beat our guy.
Yeah, that's solid. I'm gonna ask. I gotta ask. What's the most you've ever paid for an opponent that you know of?
I know. The most I've ever come out of pocket was like $2,700. I don't know how much the opponent got, because I would fly to Colombia, because I'm trying to build my resume.
Run through that, because a lot of people don't know about that. I know. We know a lot of people that participate in that. But chop it up on that on that flying to Colombia and those places, because we talking about resume builders, and a lot of people do that to build a resume. So give me at least some of your experience with that.
I feel like only people who don't have representation knows this. But if you have representation and you're flying out the country, maybe you don't know what's going on. And I don't want to burst nobody's bubble, but so I learned early on in the game that I would have to come out of pocket, and I didn't have any representation. So I have to do like GoFundMe's, or because I'm like, I'm not using my money that I work for to, pay for that, because who knows how long this is gonna last. So basically they have like these different events in like Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Colombia, and you may know like a local promoter, and I think this is illegal. But they put on shows. I don't know. So I won't say no names for legal purposes.
You ain't gotta say no names, man. Come on, man.
I don't know if it's illegal or not, but it's common. So they put on these shows, and they gather some fighters from around the U.S. or in the local area. Say like they gather like 10 fighters from Houston, and then we get on the plane and we go fight. And when we fight, it's basically the same thing that we'd be doing in the U.S. We get opponents that we know we can absolutely beat, but they're cheaper because it's in a second or third world country.
Right.
And the conversion of money, you don't have to pay that much. If I were in the U.S. and I was trying to fight a girl for 8 rounds, $500 ain't gonna work for baby girl.
If you fight in the United States, how much is a 6-round fight with old girl?
Oh, it's probably gonna be like $6,000 to $8,000.
Okay, if you go to Colombia and fight a 6-round fight with my amigo, how much you looking at then?
I paid $2,500 for the ticket to for the room, for the meals, for the travel. He might get $500 US.
Yeah. And see, a lot of people are completely oblivious that this goes on. This goes on more than average. This is the average at that point in careers. I know.
It's not to say that those people can't fight. They can.
Yeah.
It's just that they're in survival mode. They need money. They understand that the money is going to come from the U.S. and it will convert over. And like in Colombia, $200 American dollars. I don't remember the conversion, but that's a lot of money. That's like 4 or 5 months rent. Like, it's almost life changing. And it's like, yeah, I'll get in the ring for 10 seconds and get knocked out. I might play that a little bit. Like,
and then you got career B-side guys that live their careers like that, because like, as you said, you could pay old girl $7,000 for this fight. She fights you, and then she, I don't know, a month later, 2 months later, go get back in the ring and do the same thing for somebody else. She could kind of make a somewhat of a modest living like that.
yeah.
A lot of people don't know that that's the path, but seemingly that you're a female fighter, I'm sure that's not even the brunt of it. I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult. I mean, as far as even with you and your weight, I know when I first went to one of your weigh-ins, I said, how much you weighed in at? You said, oh, I weighed in at 104. I was like, what? How many females are running around at 104 pounds trying to fight somebody?
It's not a lot. I think in the U.S. it might be like 6. So I would have to go out of the country to fight, because there's only 6 in the U.S. And I would say
like round robin that everybody just take turns fighting the same person.
Yeah, basically, because the ranking list is a little bit shorter, anyways. I would say too, like, for the difference between men and women boxing is there's a lot of men, so it's easier for the men to pat their record and to get like to 10-0. For the women, the pool is smaller, but all the women can fight. So it's rare that you see women undefeated fighters. You might see like, she got 10 wins and 2 losses. Women are gonna have losses because all the women can fight. We can all scrap. You can't cherry pick like the men do. The men are able to, they have the luxury of pulling like, okay, we know for sure he's gonna lose. But women, you can't really do that. Like, women already train hard. We have a lot of work ethic, and I think we might have our pride might be neck and neck with men. So when we go out to fight, like, we're actually fighting. We're not going to fight to, nobody's going, no, women, they're not going to fight to lose. Period. Like, I don't care if I'm on the B side and you think I'm gonna lose. That's not what I came here for. I'm coming here to whoop your ass.
Yeah, yeah. You get a lot of time in the gym, or when you were active, around some high profile name guys. I mean, I saw you in a gym and get punched by Regis Prograde before. I've seen you do that.
He put a
Yeah.
motherfucking bruise on my chin, and he was like, "I just tapped you. You didn't tap me."
You ever spar with Shock?
Yeah, I spar. Oh, Shock used to help me out a lot. He would even turn like southpaw to help me out, like for different opponents. Yeah, Shock was like really helpful towards me.
So you been around, Bobby Benton coaching you. You got Regis Prograde in house, O'Shaquie Foster in house. The Quentin Randalls of the world, the Ray Talib Juniors, Alif Ali, all these guys around you, and you putting in that kind of work. I'm sure you developed a lot of respect from these guys, right?
From them or for them?
From them.
Oh, absolutely. They know. No, no, I would like to think that I'm respected. I would like to think that I'm appreciated in the world of boxing. I played a lot of different roles. Not only, was I a fighter, I was also a media person. And so I helped try to, like, I knew the platform that I had, so I helped try to shine the light on what they were doing as well. And, I don't know, you've seen a lot of times, like, I'll get them to do interviews or like silly stuff or like just skits with me. So I'm pretty sure the interactions that I had that translate a level of respect. That
I mean, in the gym, you work really hard. I'm gonna run it back just because we have other people popped in and out of here, man. But you are extremely hard worker in the gym. I've seen it firsthand. I got to run it one time.
Hey, 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 brother, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same. Hey, sister, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same.
My flow C4 rig, burn a 20 block radius. Got people like I think he is office rocker, or maybe just I turn into an asshole that don't listen, it can't be fixed. Ever since you fuckers try to change me, that's what made me this. I'm sick of it, so here's the skip motherfucking predicaments. Got me trying to figure out where a nigga is gon' piss and shit. With a hustle that's legitimate, depositing large increments of bullshit from every direction, but I'm not listening. Faded and have focus on a future that's not promised. I'm cutting off partners who hating and not honest. You got one mind, one life, two roads to take it. The only question is what you willing to do to make it. No more stressing out of my mind. I'ma lose it with this music. Don't confuse it with the irrelevant music out of Houston. I'm just trying to live my life through these beats and what I speak. You can rearrange the game, but ain't no rearranging me. So I tell them,
hey brother, gonna make the change, but don't let them rearrange your brain. You might have to bend a little reclaim, but remain the same.
I had to run that just for those who don't know how hard of a worker in the gym that you are. It's a lot of women get in the gym and nobody fathoms the amount of work that they put in. You got all of the headlining people, the Clarissa Shields and the Amanda Serranos and so forth and so on, and we just see them on the TV screen under the lights. We assume that they just make this big money and life is peaches and cream. But, you shedding some light that it's a little harder of a road than what people even think of because they don't understand the other parts of it. I mean, you've even told me that, they got certain situations with certain people or whatever that they, as women, fall in love with the authority. You told me that verbatim.
Yeah, I would say boxing is a difficult sport for men and women. like I said, boxing does not discriminate, and everybody's being preyed on whether they know it or they don't. But I believe that women start in a deficit. We already in a disadvantage. So I feel like we have to work 2 times harder just to get recognition, just to get anybody to say like, hey, I want to train her. This girl has something, or just, it's like a different level of trying to prove something. And people in boxing already are like mentally, the mental capacity it takes, and the mental maturity and the emotional intelligence that it takes to be in the sport is already taxing. So being a woman in a predatory sport full of men, you often see, if you pay attention, when you see women fight, a lot of the times their coach is their husband, whether it happened before, during the training or whatever. You see that a lot. Obviously, like inside the gym, a lot of the men are, if there's 1 or 2 women, they all gonna try to gravitate towards that woman. They're all gonna be trying to talk to her. You really have to have like a thick skin and to be able to deal with that and know how to handle yourself. What was your question?
Nah, you own it. You own it.
Okay.
You telling me how you've had to deal with, maybe not you, but how you should deal with a predatorial type of scenario. I mean, don't get me wrong. My question was, do you see people falling in love with the authority? And then when you said, hey, sometimes the coach be they husband, or became that during, before, or after the process, that speaks to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a black and white situation, right? In some cases, it might really be true love. But the thing that I don't agree with is, and I tell this to, I hate when little girls start boxing, because there's an opening for more predatorial things to happen. So let's just say, okay, I'm a woman, and I am a woman. I'm a woman. I was gonna say a little girl.
let's just say.
So let's just say, when a girl first starts boxing and she knows nothing, and you have this man who's a lot older, who comes and teaches this little girl the power that she has within her. He encourages her. He makes her feel safe. He makes her feel seen. No one else can do the things that he's making her feel like that she can do.
Yeah.
So now, in a sense, she looks up to him and she's just like, wow, I think I love this man. She doesn't love this man, but she thinks that she does, because he brought something out of her that she didn't even know that she had. So it's kind of sad, honestly. It happens a lot. It not only happens to little girls, it happens to adults. There's a lot of grooming in boxing. It doesn't just happen with the girls. It happens with the male fighters too, but on a lesser level.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. That's tough. You somehow were able to leverage being an entrepreneur and a pro boxer at the same time. How were you able to pull that off? I mean, we just ran the commercial of your Smash Therapy, and please let me know when you need me to play it. I'll play it. But yeah, how is it like during that period? Balancing an entrepreneurship and handling business, and then I got to train and got to get right and for this fight, but I got a business to run. How you do that? Because that is the direction that I think a lot of people try to go in, to have multiple streams of income, considering, boxing don't pay it that much.
Yeah. So I want to say I had a life before boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was subject to boxing and all the bullshit that it comes with, I had a life, and I already had a skill set of how to talk to people, how to find out how to do whatever it is that I want to do. I'm very resourceful. I have like a lot of gifts and talents that I was blessed with. And
don't you got like a degree in like therapy or something?
Yeah, I'll give you like a rundown, a timeline. So, So when I started boxing during like 2007, I was in college already. And I graduated with my first degree in 2009 in psychology.
From Texas Southern University?
No, in Texas, that was it. In college in California, I graduated with my first degree, 2009, with a degree in psychology. And then when I went to Texas Southern University, I graduated with another degree in psychology. And that was in 2014. After I graduated in 2014, I worked at a psych hospital, which was my very first job out of college. I got hired like 2 weeks later. And I started at the lowest level at the psych hospital, which was basically people are at risk to harm themselves or other people, and they have to be restricted so that they can rehabilitate and go back into society and not be a harm anymore. Yeah. And I did that for 8 years, and I worked from the lowest level all the way to like the highest director level within that 8 years. Around like my 5th year there, I decided I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't think that, because I started to notice that it was more like a business. People are not being treated fairly. And this is not something that I could see myself doing forever. My moral compass didn't allow me to want to be there. So I felt like I want to start my own business. At this time, I stopped boxing in 2016 because I had got pregnant, and then I got pregnant again in 2019. So there's like this gap that I'm not boxing. I started back boxing 2020. So around like 2017, after I had my first child, I stayed home for a little bit, on maternity leave, and I was like, I want to like work for myself, because these people are calling me, telling me to come back to work. And I just had this baby. I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about no daycares. I'm like, how much does this cost? Like, I literally didn't know anything at all. I didn't have no help. I don't have any family at all. So other than the kid's dad, at that time. And, which, he had a big family, which is, helpful. So, but other than that, I didn't know. So I said, okay, I wanted to start a business because I don't want to be treated like a number. I literally just go and I clock in, and it's 9:52. I'm mad at you because I want to go to yoga. I'm supposed to go to yoga at 10:25, y'all. I said, we're getting off this call at 9:45. But okay, you owe me something. I don't know. But so I decided I wanted to open a business. I didn't know what I wanted to open. All I knew at this point, I know boxing and I know mental health. That's all I know. I know nothing else. I don't want to open a gym. I hate training people. I used to train people in college, and that was kind of how I paid for college. I paid for college by training people, writing papers, and doing hair. I'm a hustler, baby. So, I knew that I had the capacity to do anything that I want to do because I've already proven it up until that point, right? I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just like, all I know is boxing and all I know is mental health. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The funny thing about God is when you start praying and you say, hey, I can't see myself like this anymore. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. God, if you don't find me something, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life because I can't find nothing else. I looked for other jobs for years and I couldn't get one. I was stuck at that hospital because I knew that that's what I had to do. So one day, so about the psych hospital, the patients, they're told what to do. You got to know, they have to eat when it's time. They got to take their medications when it's time. They can't watch TV. At certain times, you can't use the phone. You got to go to groups. You got to get therapy or whatever. So much a patient would say, hey, can I use the phone? And some of the nurses and stuff, they rude as hell. No, you can't use the phone. Opposed to like, yes, you can use the phone, but not right now. How about just a little later after the group? You are favorite, but we don't want everybody to know you are favorite. So let's just wait until after the group. Opposed to that, no, you can't use the phone. Go into that group. Okay, well, now that you about to get this computer thrown at your face, I'm about to pull this phone out the wall. I'm about to tear all this stuff up. I saw that so much. And then with those behaviors, they either get emergency injection into their butt. They get a team of people, that kind of tackle them in a way. The police might come depending on how much destruction it is, how much it's worth. A lot of the times they're not going to take those patients to jail just because like they're patients. They're here for rehabilitation.
Right.
And then, or they might get like a big bill when they leave. So I saw that so much and I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I saw it so much in one particular day. I was like, wow, what if I just create a space where people can go and they can break things and not be judged for it?
Breaking stuff and not being judged for it.
And that was not a thing. At the time, that was not a thing. I remember, and I learned very quickly. I started telling people that I had this idea, and people were like, girl, don't do that. That's crazy. Nobody's going to pay for that. All this negative stuff. And then I was like, there was something in me. My spirit was pushing me. And I was like, no, I know that this is going to work. It's going to work because I'm going to make it work. So then I stopped talking about it. I stopped telling people about it. It took me like 6 months to 8 months to do everything behind the scenes. I knew nothing about business. I had no mentor. I didn't know where to start. I did a lot of research, and I have that resourcefulness about me. And now I mentor people to open their own businesses because a lot of people are like me. I didn't know anybody who was a business owner. I don't have no friend. I still don't have friends who own businesses. So I decided, I want to open a business. And when I started back boxing, and that's just my life. Like yeah. I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm a boxer. We got categories for all of this. So I know a lot of people, they get stuck in tunnel vision and they're like, I just want to be a boxer. If you don't think that I just wanted to be a boxer, it's crazy. I wanted to just be a boxer so I can focus on boxing so that I could, be the best in boxing. But that's not how that works. Boxing wasn't paying any bills. Boxing did not contribute really anything positive to my life. But it served its purpose in teaching me things that I needed to learn as far as like how to interact with people, how to spot things. It let me channel my emotions in a way that was just like, oh, this is cool. I get to hit motherfuckers and not get in trouble. That's cool too. But I realized that whatever it is that I want to do, I'm going to make it happen. And everybody can. But a lot of the boxers, they're stuck in the box and they don't have different skill sets. So that's why you see them like training clients or, doing what they do.
I mean, what do you say to that? Because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of fighters become personal trainers or weightlifting instructors or whatever because of their lack of job experience. I'm assuming,
Like a job experience, like a skill sets, don't know how to apply for jobs, don't know where to look, don't have any other experience in anything else. Like they literally have just been boxers their whole lives.
So not even some way. So in a major way, boxing stumps your social growth in society if you're gonna be just a regular person, a part of society, regular civilian. If you've just been boxing and you don't know how to move a forklift or how to do this or do that. So I'm assuming that it takes a person way out their way, especially coming back to getting in the work field or having a regular life, but you found a way to, hey, I'm gonna open this business. But I don't know how many female fighters or college graduates and all that other stuff either. So, that's not a normal thing either. So, you've already kind of broken the norm. What I was going to kind of go back and tap into, I was there tonight when HBCU, TSU presented you with a award, for what you've done in your contribution to boxing. I wanted to make sure that we touch this because, like I said, it's not a whole lot of people who go to different states and start collegiate boxing programs, and I just want to make sure you saluted and those people who are in the chat know that about you. You've done a lot for mental health with Smash Therapy. You've created a means for collegiate male and female fighters alike to have different institutions that they could be a part of. you always say you aren't, but to a massive degree, you are a very historical piece of boxing, especially here in the state of Texas where I'm at, and we just want to make sure we share that with the world. I know you want to go to your yoga class.
I wonder if I'm gonna make it on time.
You probably won't. You probably won't. It's you a vegan. I'm gonna hit this before we get up out of here. You a vegan, man. Were you always a vegan during your boxing career?
Yeah, my whole boxing career I was a vegan.
Man, how different is the preparation of you eating? Does it make it easier to make weight or not?
I don't know. I've been a vegan forever. I don't know. I don't know if it's different outside of that because I was never not a vegan as a boxer. So
you never had any odd side effects to you or nothing like that you know of, because you wouldn't know, I guess.
No. I think the only time that like I had trouble making weight was like on my cycle or something.
Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Well, women have it different, we got to take pregnancy tests. We got to, and look, here's the thing too. Say like if you weigh in as a woman and say like your opponent is like 1 or 2 pounds overweight, she could say, I'm on my period, and nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it because you can't check if she's on her period. So she just might be fat and overweight and not on her period. But if she says she's on her period legally, you can't do anything about it. So she just got through the loophole.
Wow. Shout out to Ashley's Corner. She said if she was a vegan and she boxed, her strength stayed.
Yeah, I think people have a misconception of like, oh, you don't eat meat. Where does your strength come from? Gorillas don't eat meat.
No,
they strong as hell. So you get your protein from like beans and lentils and super greens. Like I don't know if I was super strong, but I feel like I had some sort of knockout power. Like I was strong enough. Like I ain't died or nothing. I've been fine.
Jiffy, how do people find you on social media? Because you have a amazing story, and you always sprinkling little drops of your story out there. Rather it be what did you use? 23andMe or Ancestry? Which one did you use?
23andMe.
23andMe helps you find your daddy.
Found my daddy. I wasn't even looking for him. This crazy. My mama told me, I have a quick story. My mama told me that she had a one-night stand and she didn't know the man. Growing up, I took like 3 or 4 paternity tests. And so we never knew who my daddy was. Then a couple of years ago, I took this little swab, during COVID. I was trying to start my YouTube channel. That was my first video. And after that, I ain't been right since. So I did the little swab, and then I got like a message from this lady who happened to be my cousin. And my mama was like, I don't talk to my mama no more. But she was like, don't worry, like that's a scam. Don't worry about that. Well, come to find out, this is my daddy, and they were together, and she knew who this man was, and then she ended up kidnapping me from him. So then I was thinking, like, well, women don't just leave, right? You don't just leave. It had to be something. Was he abusive? Did he do something to you? No, she just didn't want to be with the man. She took me and she left. And I went and I met him this past summer in July, in South Carolina, and
you documented the whole thing.
I went by myself to South Carolina, flew and met these strangers, but it turned out fine. I still don't really have like a huge relationship. It's been, it's been difficult. I've been alone.
Shout out to Ashley's Corner. I'm gonna go ahead and run I guess I should. She didn't ask me to do it yet. But I'm assuming she eventually would. But Ashley, this is her business. It's called Therapy.
Smash.
This is Smash Therapy in North Spring, Texas. It's a place to find inner peace. People said it wouldn't work.
A place where you smash things? That's stupid.
But Jennifer is a headstrong business owner.
So give me a call. I'll get you smashing in no time.
That is go ahead.
So that's Smash Therapy, and that commercial was actually sponsored by Head and Shoulders, and it was the Super Bowl commercial.
Talk to me.
So in 2018 is when I officially opened my doors. And then, all the negativity was kind of like getting to me, right? I would go to these Chamber of Commerce meetings, and I would go to these different network meetings, and everybody would just look at me and laugh, and they'll be like, "That's crazy," and da, 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 da. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not messing with people anymore. So then I really focused on doing the media side of it. So I started writing these letters, these press releases, and to different companies. And I'm just like, hey, highlight my business. Hey, this, whatever. Ended up getting ABC to come out for this show. It was called Localish, and they did this piece. I don't know if you saw it, but they did this piece, and then it aired nationally. I think it aired nationally or internationally. Well, during that time that it aired, I had to sneeze, but bless me. During that time that it aired, a recruiter for Head and Shoulders, they were looking for 3 headstrong business owners, and they were trying to find unique businesses. Well, the recruiter, she was just watching TV one day, trying to figure out, and she saw me on TV, and then she called me, and she said, "Hey,
I guess
for a 30-second commercial, and I just want you to send your information." So she gave me a platform to send a video, and then the people of Procter and Gamble, they loved me, and they highlighted me and 2 other businesses. And that's the commercial that they filmed at my business. It took 12 hours to film a 30-second video. I was actually 4 or 5 months pregnant at the time. It was crazy because they was brushing my hair and putting makeup on me and feeding me yogurt in between. It was fun. And then from that, I was only open for 6 months at that time, and I wasn't really busy at all. It was to the point where I was like, I'm gonna close this shit down. But then that happened, and then I went to Good Morning America, and then Sarah and Strahan, and then My 600-Pound Life came, and then it was just a whole bunch. And now we've been open for 8 years. So
she said that's a cool first date. I think that's dope too.
I have people come on first dates all the time, and I just I be making fun of them. I'm like, now why you bring her here on your first date? And he was like, yeah, all the middle school kids want to go to the special. First date, I don't know. I guess you can whip them out real quick if you take them there on the first date.
Give me a since you've slowed it up on the boxing department, give me your greatest memory of your boxing time, pro, amateur career, don't matter. In the gym, it don't matter. What's one of the best memories you got within the sport of boxing?
I still love boxing very much.
I know you be at the gym all the time.
I choose not to utilize it anymore. It actually was a catalyst for me to move on to the next phase of my life. But I just choose not to be in that environment because I feel like it can be very toxic for someone like me, because I know that I have bigger and greater things, and I can't be in the box. But I would say one of my greatest memories, there's a lot of them. College boxing was really good, especially being one of the first set of women to fight on a regional and national level, which had never been done before.
Man, talk that talk, man. That had never been done before.
No, it had never been done before. They didn't allow women to fight at that level because like I said, it was ran by some old white military men who didn't think that women should be fighting. And so that was cool to be a part of. And he's funny. And what else? I loved dressing up. So the idea behind that, it was actually Aaron's idea for us to reach a kid audience, because I felt like I just wanted little girls to know, you literally could do anything that you want to do. I didn't come from a solid home. I was in the CPS system. My mom kidnapped me from my dad, but she ended up being very abusive towards me.
So it was Aaron's idea for y'all to wear something like that.
Well, he actually had a Toy Story idea. So Aaron was Buzz Lightyear. I don't know if you saw him in a picture. So, yeah. So then we started to think, well, Aaron is kind of in the back. You can't see him in this picture, but we started to just find themes And so we did Rugrats one time. I don't think I had any pictures of that. I did the Mad Hatter. I did Chucky, like the Killer Chucky. So I did a lot of themes, and I thought that was that some good memories that I have of boxing. You can kind of, because when you're a boxer, you are your business.
Yeah.
And you can sell yourself however it is that you see fit, and people are going to buy into it or they're not. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with what it is that you're doing, because at the end of the day, you have to live with what it is that you did. And no one else, at the end of the day, they don't care. They don't care if you did right or wrong, or you went left or right, because a lot of the times you're just a memory, or they don't remember you at all. So you just have to.
Tell me about something in boxing that should change.
That should change.
Yes.
There needs to be governing bodies that have insurance for boxers, that has a unionship for boxers, that holds everybody in boxing accountable. They need to, especially in Texas, they do really bad at like the B side, the opponents. They're able to use these same fighters that are like 0-35. Like somebody needs to be protecting the fighters, and they're not.
So it's just,
there's no unionship, there's no protection. If a fighter gets hurt, they just kind of like they do in, football or basketball. They redshirt them, they forget about them, they take them off the roster. Nobody's protecting the boxers. They don't offer them medical care, no mental health care. Nobody. This is one of the missions that I had when I was in the boxing gym. I made sure that everybody who was saying, like, talking about like they got to pay for medicals or like they want therapy, I rounded up a group of people and I said, hey, it's open enrollment for insurance time. Let me help you get insurance. So this will cover, like, if you want to go to therapy, or if you want to go, or if you can't afford to pay for your medicals, your insurance, we can get you the credit for your insurance, so you don't have to come out of pocket. You might have to pay, like $0 to $10 a month for your insurance. But at the end of the day, if you get hurt physically, you can go to the doctor and it'll be covered by insurance. So I did that for like 5 or 6 fighters who, who came to me at least and expressed that that's what they were struggling with. Because if I had the knowledge, then why not share that?
Man, I think you got more education about the sport than the average. Man, Jiffy, I know you got to make a move, but man, we appreciate you for pulling up. And we're gonna have to do a more specified part 2 of it, to where we talk about some of those disparities that go on within the sport. But you covered a lot of ground. Hopefully, this was insightful for a lot of people who tuned in to check it out. You can find her on IG at what?
Everything is Jiffy Morales. My Facebook got hacked. I'm sad about that, but
That wasn't you out there posting them pictures.
TikTok, Instagram. What else? What else is out there? Not my Facebook. I ain't probably
because I'm sure this would be inspiring to a lot of females out there who like your story, who want to just tap in to see what you're working on now. Because who you are today and where you're going is 2 different points. So they might want to check it out and watch it, how it grows and becomes something even greater. But man, Jiffy, we appreciate you so much. You my partner, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But I just really do appreciate you pulling up and dropping some of them Jiffy gems. That's what I'm gonna call them, Jiffy gems on people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make this yoga class, just so you know.
Oh, you ain't gonna be able to make it?
I'm not. Look, the yoga class is at 10:25, and let me see how long it is from my house.
You do yoga, Zumba, box, like what you?
And look, and everybody was making fun of my little Zumba. I got rhythm, but I just can't dance, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine.
So look, this is the thing. So boxing is so intense to the point where I can't find anything that makes me feel the same way that boxing does. So I'm trying everything until I feel fulfilled, I guess. So I would do yoga. I would do Pilates. I've done Zumba. I do water fit classes with the older people. I do cycling, rowing, all types of stuff. I would try anything.
Before we get out, tell me something that a female fighter should know that they don't know in the sport.
I don't know what women know.
If you could go back to 2000, early 2000s, and talk to young Jiffy, what would you have told her to prepare her for what you know today?
Okay, I'll tell you this. I reached out to somebody in like 2006, 7 or something like that. And I don't know if y'all know who he is, but his name is Cam F. Awesome. And yes, I reached out to him on Twitter. I don't have a relationship with him. I don't know him, but his words stuck with me. I reached out to him because he was a vegan and I'm a vegan too. And I said, hey, is there any advice you could give me? And he said, don't shit where you eat. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, don't mess with anybody in boxing. He was like, don't fuck the boxers, don't fuck the coaches. He was like, please just keep to yourself. And I would have never imagined what that could turn into. And I think that's, if I could go back, or if I could tell anybody, I would say like, hey, don't shit where you eat, because when you look at it, it's compiled with a bunch of people who have lack of mental maturity, lack of mental emotional intelligence. Everybody is fighting for something, and everybody has like something that they're trying to prove, and there's a lot of mental health issues in boxing, and everybody's using somebody for something. So, and that's another reason why it's a predatory sport. So you got all these people with all these problems in this one place, and everybody just trying to do whatever they do. And especially being a woman, that's hard. So women, like, protect yourself. Be outspoken. I wasn't outspoken. I was very like quiet, and people would just like, for lack of a better word, sexually harass me, sexually objectify me. And now a motherfucker know. Like, even if you look at me and I feel like you flirting, I'm like, don't fucking flirt with me. Do not do that. Don't mention nothing about me. Like, don't look at me for too long. No, I don't like you. No, you don't like me. I'm just here. It's the proximity effect. Yeah.
That's real game, Jiff. Man, we appreciate you a whole lot. Just the gems that you done dropped and everything in between that we done talked about. Man, I know I done made you miss your yoga class, but you could go do some, some downward dogs or whatever y'all be doing in the living room.
I got a treadmill in my living room. I'm about to just run on that.
Hey, there you go, man. It don't take nothing but a little, ain't it just like a bunch of stretching? You know what I'm saying? In so many words.
What you say?
I said, ain't your yoga class a bunch of stretching?
Yeah. It's just a lady, like, she just be like, close your eyes and pray. I'm like, okay, she up here praying, okay. All over. I don't know who she praying to. I just know I'm covered in the blood. But
say man, you crazy, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. We ain't gonna hold you up. Before we get out of here, shout out to everybody that pulled up. Man, hit that like button for your boy, man, or share the video that, somebody might need to hear some of this information that Jiffy just dropped, them gems that she dropped. But you know how we do, man. I'm out. You know what I'm talking about?
Behind the hand, so go tell you, man. Combinations rotate like a ceiling fan, get killed. Improvisational skill. In other words, man, I don't need a plan. Left hook like Gotti, footwork like Ali. Deja like Frenchington, blows to the body. Throwing them things, I'm about my cheddar, undefeated champ. I'm like Floyd Mayweather, however you want it, I got it for you. Jab a fella like De La Hoya, I'm Sugar Ray. You wanna play? I'ma lose my religion like Cassius Clay. Get rough, I don't bluff if you don't listen. My right might make your teeth come up missing. Knocked off balance with hazy vision. Caught that boy with a sunny listing. I swear your lip and then break your spine. Like Iron Mike up in his prime. So make me do this, I'm ruthless to the end of time. Wreaking havoc is on my mind. My fist Resisting motion is a crime. The older I get, the better my hands become in time like wine. These hands is so sublime, accurately placed upon your mind. It's like every punch I throw, I know I reach and I will find. While I hustle on my grind, you better not try to block my shine. I will beat you till you blind. Press rewind, cause it go down behind the hands.